All right, welcome to another Hood County Judges Report with Judge Daryl Cockerham. We are somewhat rejoicing here in the studio today in that the last 3 days, we've had rain, and it's actually raining. I thankfully still have some raindrops from walking in the door. I'm Kevin Myers with Granbury TV, and Judge, let's start with the obvious. It is raining in Hood County, which we have been talking about for months, needing.
Right. You know, one of the great things is that we July and August is the driest months in Texas, and here it is. We've gotten over 4 inches of rain at my house, and then some more today, probably another quarter to a half inch. So, you know, maybe around 4.5 to 4 3/4 inches right here in town. So it's great. The lake is up. You know, it's not up a lot, but it's up, and you know, if we could just maintain the runoff, and maybe we could make these islands go away, and you know, and
at least get back to some boating this year.
Yes.
Get some of the boat docks back. Get some of the boat ramps back open. Right. Judge, we did get to a record low Wednesday of this week, and just so everybody knows, this plays about 2 weeks on here. So today is the 16th of July, and so we're doing okay. But Judge, I think we got down to only 2 of our boat ramps were open. Is that correct?
That's true. Yes, and you know, most of the boat ramps within the HOAs and things like that were closed. So only 2. I think one out close to Pecan, and another one were the only ones open. So.
And you know, obviously, I don't think does the Lake Patrol actually come up under the auspices of the county, or is that a state deal?
No, it's a state deal. Well, there's the BRA has its own Lake Patrol, so it's under under BRA.
But I did read some reports that boating was obviously down considerably this year. And
right. Let's go back a little bit, because the state does have, through the Parks and Recreation, they have, you know, used to be the old game wardens. Well, it's called Parks and Recreation now, and they have patrols out too, so they control some of that.
So, but you know, boating obviously down this year.
Boating is down.
But also this year down, I think, because I get my hair cut by the fire chief, is that fires were down this year as well. We're just not a lot of incidents this year during the 4th of July festivities. And all in all, I think a pretty good 4th of July year this year. A lot of people on the square on the 4th of July in and around the courthouse.
Oh, there were. Yeah, we of course rode in the parade, and I think we were the 3rd or 4th car. When we got, you know, we made the whole loop and got back to the school, got in our car, and as we were leaving to try to go back downtown, the last of the parade was just now moving out. So I mean, it's a long parade. It was a long, I think probably longest that I've seen. So I think it was a really good parade.
Yeah,
had a lot of good floats.
One of the things that we've been talking about for quite a long time is Loop 567, which y'all were able to get open before 4th of July, even with the few delays that it did have. And boy, was there a lot of traffic on that road over the holiday weekend.
There were, you know, and seriously, I think there's more traffic on that than there is on the old loop, because I went out there the first day it was open and rode around it, and there's just cars coming and going on that thing. So I think, you know, that was definitely needed. It was a good deal from the state to put that in, and so yeah, everybody, people are using it.
So going along with that, I know one person that lives out there, and he actually works for the hospital, and that's the CFO of the hospital. And he wanted me to ask you, next time that I saw you, is it the judge that sets the speed limits on the Loop 567?
No, it's TxDOT.
Okay. Obviously, I think he's asking for a specific reason. I think he may have already gotten a ticket out there.
Well, you know, and matter of fact, I met with TxDOT this morning. Steve Berry and I met with them, 2 people out of Fort Worth, 2 people out of Stephenville from TxDOT, and we talked a little bit about that, talking about raising it and things like that. So they know that it needs to be raised, and and they're working on that. You know, most of these roads, the other day when we went to Hyco, we noticed those on that little 2-lane road down there, 75 miles an hour. So I don't think it'll be that, but I think it's going to be raised.
Something more than, I think it's 45?
Yeah, it's really, you know, and I have not gotten a ticket out there, but I don't know if I was,
Are you saying that you might have had the opportunity
I
to
might
get?
have because, you know, like I said, it was the first day, and I was just, you know, kind of monitoring it and seeing, you know, driving on it and making sure everything was up to speed, and I may have gotten up to speed. I don't know.
So, Judge, also along the Loop 567, obviously every time I drive on that road and I look left and I look right and I see the opportunity for a lot of development happening out there. You know, it may be a little early in the game for those wheels to start getting rolling, but are you hearing something about developing out there?
Yes, I am, and you know, I think that, you know, the first thing that will need to be done probably is maybe some annexation by the city of Granbury out there, because those people are going to need city services. They're going to need water, sewer, and so, you know, I suspect that that's going to happen within the next couple of years.
And then we start seeing the platting and everything else. So we're not going to see a new gas station go up tomorrow or any of that kind of stuff. But at least far as what you're hearing is that people are very interested in continuing to develop that property out there.
That's right. You know, it's very pretty if you've been out there and driven around. There's a lot of trees and everything. I think, you know, I was really surprised how quick Abe's Landing built out. You know, they were just, you know, it's really just blossomed out there, and I think that this area was going to do the same because it's a pretty area.
Judge, one of the places that does a lot of 4th of July festivities and different things is the reunion grounds up on the top of the hill there, and I know they got to be happy with their new driveway.
Yeah, and you know, not only are they happy, I'm happy with it because now I don't have to go down by the square and go down through there and you know, and go that way. I can just go out the loop and
boom, you're there.
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, so it's going to make it a lot simpler.
And one of the things a lot of people don't know about is that below the reunion grounds, also accessible from this, they've actually begun reconstructing a new fire training field and that kind of stuff right down there.
That's
and the city has a plot of land, I think maybe about 5 acres right there below that.
Yeah, it's kind of over behind the post office and behind the reunion grounds, and I think the city has built it, and I think the county may be doing some paving and things like that, and that way then the county can do training out there as well as the city. So.
Well, good. You know, we always want to talk about all of our different construction projects that we've got underway here in the county, and first one that is really a hot topic since the tornado happened is the new Emergency Operations Center, and that is continuing to progress.
That's true. We met with the I guess the P&Z board and on some things that we wanted to get variances on, and because we want this to be a hardened structure, because if anything needs to stand the test of time and weather, it's the Emergency Operations Center. So we're using concrete tilt wall construction on that. It'll be a pretty building, but it won't be like, it's not a McDonald's or something like that. That this needs to be there and be there during a storm and so forth. So we got the city was very good and handled that, and we're letting the contract on that really quick. So that for the builders, we're opening the bids on that pretty soon.
And also, along with the Emergency Operations Center, you're basically replacing the data center for the county as well.
That's
which
right.
Will be a much more solid operation, because all of our emergency operations, our 911 system and everything else is operated by the county. Is that
Right.
correct?
That's right. Well, what happens is as you know, is how computers are just critical to the county operation, is in a hospital operation, the city operation, and so forth. So right now, the IT department is in the old jail. And quite frankly, it's too small for them. Their people's offices are old jail cells, and with the doors taken off, and the roof leaks, and it just needs to be moved. Plus, it needs to be out there with the rest of the EOC in a hardened facility. And you know that business continuity is a big issue.
Absolutely, yes, and of course, putting in a generator and all those different kind of things.
UPS
You don't want to duplicate that stuff if you don't have to.
That's true.
And, you know,
Just
so.
makes sense.
It does make sense. It's a good building project, and I think one that will serve the county for a long, long time as well. Along building, one of the things I know you and I have talked about many times that you care deeply about, which is animal control, and how are we moving forward with animal control?
Well, we had a kind of a mini meeting this morning on that, and I think right now it's about 9,000 something square feet. We're talking about moving some of the offices and shrinking it down a little bit, but the plans are drawn on it, and we may do some revision, but we're moving along on that.
Still kind of the same location that we've always talked about, which will be out there on 51.
On 51.
51 North, sort of where the.
By KPIR.
Okay, right there where the collection station
That's right,
is.
that's right.
So just right there on that property.
Right.
Is it going to be on the highway?
It'll be, it won't be right on the highway, but it'll be close.
Okay.
And it'll be a lot easier for people to get to if they want to go do adoptions. And I mean, we visited the ones over in Carrollton, Farmers Branch, Richardson. I mean, let's see, Arlington, and Duncanville. So, we got a lot of good ideas, and it's going to be like that. When you come in, you can walk along and you can look at the dogs or cats in their individual pens. And then we're going to have little runs for them, so, they can, maybe there'll be, some of the dogs get along really well with each other and they're social. And so we could have a place where, maybe they'd have 3 separate kennels, but one common run, so they could get out and play together and things like that. And then some outside runs so that they could get out and exercise. And
one of the other things we've talked about several times is as your population, and so much of the stuff in Texas is based upon the population of your county.
That's right.
And one of those triggers when it comes to animal control is when you become a population of 75,000, you have to have vet
right.
services in the animal control shelter.
That's right. And then right now, the new building will be have a place for that. Of course, until we reach that number, we will not have a vet on staff. But yes, that room will be there. So when the growth gets to be the 75,000, which we're about 22,000 away from, or something like that right now.
And that could very easily be within at the 2020 census. That very well could be at the 75,000 mark.
That's right.
Yeah, Judge, let's go back and talk about the lake a little bit. Obviously everybody knows we're in a drought situation, and we love the rain, and that is bringing everything up. But there are other things that have been in motion for quite some time with respect to the BRA. One of those items is a hearing, I believe, next week or the week after, that has to do with people that, for lack of a better term, have skin in the game with with water rights and so on and so forth. Can you explain where does the county sit in this game?
Well, unfortunately, right now the county does not have a seat at the table, and we're trying to get one. We commissioned a economic impact study, and I've seen the first rough draft of that, and they're talking a lot about sales tax being down, which will hurt the city. It'll hurt the county ad valorem tax. Property values could drop. So if something's not done about the lake, the the city and the county is going to be highly impacted on that. But right now, we don't have a seat at the table, and we're trying to work through the channels to make sure that we have a place to do down there. I think it's somewhere around the 25th of the month or something like that, which is,
2 weeks, yeah, well, next week, I guess,
Yeah.
And as you were briefly explaining to me before we came on air here, is that by definition, to have a seat at the table, just inherently at the table, you actually have to be a customer of the BRA, and the county itself, don't forget that the lake is actually in the county.
Right.
But the county itself is not a customer of
Right.
BRA. You don't buy water from them.
No, we do not. And I think the city does, but the county does not. So, we're trying to get a seat at the table so that we can have some input into how the lake is managed. But right now, we don't really. Yeah.
And I've been watching. I love watching KERA and those specials. And I watched a special not too long ago about the drought in West Texas back in the 30s.
Right.
And
Dust Bowl.
Yeah, the Dust Bowl. And it was a fantastic show. But at the end of it, it began to start talking about some of the modern decisions that are being made that are, in essence, creating the conditions for a second drying up of Texas, and which mostly means drilling of irrigation wells and those kind of things in the state. I mean, here in our state, in Oklahoma, and those kind of places. Judge, how do y'all manage? And I don't know that you directly manage, but how do you manage people drilling wells in the county?
Well, right now we are in the upper Trinity groundwater district, and so there is a board of people that set and manages the drilling. Individual wells are a little different from people that are drilling. Let's say that there's a company that's going to supply all of the water for a subdivision, maybe 100, 150 houses. They are different than people just drilling an individual well. And people that have individual wells should register those, but some people don't and don't. But if they're going to build have wells for a whole subdivision, then they'll have to go through that process with the.
And they actually get it metered and everything else, so they see
Right.
exactly how much water are they pulling out and those kind of things.
And quite frankly, and I worry about this because the groundwater tables are dropping. But as you say, is because all of the uses, and and I tell people this all the time, and it really, the time to worry about water is not when you turn on the tap and there's not any. I mean, we have got to start doing something about it now. I think for about the last 20-something years, we have had a Texas water plan, but the legislature has not funded it. This may be the first biennium that they have funded. They put some money in it, and I think they're going to put a couple of $1 billion into it. Well, that's a good start. $2 billion is a lot of money, but it is a start toward the $50 billion that's going to be required to solve Texas water problem.
Well, and I remember a speech by Jim Keffer 10 years ago, and what he said in there is you will be able to divide the cities in Texas in two ways. One is those that have water, and the other one those that do not. And water is going to be the item to say whether or not things grow or not grow.
Well, 1,200 people move into Texas every day. 1,200 people every day move into Texas. Those people are going to have a place to live. They're going to have electricity. They're going to have water. And the people up in Michigan say, don't worry about it. Don't worry about those people moving out and all over because they'll be back when that water runs out in Texas. Because and they're laughing about how we are not taking care of business.
So, well, I know you guys are not sitting idly by
No,
and
we're
just
not.
saying this will take care of itself, or that's somebody else's problem. And the reason why I say that is I get to go to some of these meetings and listen to the conversation. Water is the topic of conversation.
It is. And the other day, I'll tell you a little story. I was going from one meeting to another, kind of like this meeting, and a reporter from the Star Telegram called. And he says, I hear there's a problem with your lake. Is there a problem? And you know, I just blurted it out. I said, "Oh my God, yes, there's a problem." You know, and so he reports that in the paper. You know, and I thought, "Oh my God, why did I say that?" You know, I mean, but yes, there is a problem. You know, I get complaints all the time. Said I have a boat and I can't get it out. I mean, it's up. You know, the lines are not long enough to let it down, and plus now there's weeds growing down there, and I can't, you know, and I want to sell my house and I can't sell it because, you know, my boat is there, nobody wants it, you know. I mean, you know, and people are saying, well, I'd drop my insurance on it. I'm not registering my boat because there's a big deal, so it's, you know, and I'm telling you, you know, when those are impact things, you know, people are selling fuel to, you know, running up and down, you know, the lake. Well, they're not doing that anymore. So these boat docks, these marinas are hurting, you know, and that consequently they have to make some decisions on how they're running their business. I mean, it's a trickle down effect, but yes, everybody is going to feel this, you know, maybe not in the short term, but they will feel it before it's over with.
Well, hopefully everybody could hear the thunder, the thunder that was clapping outside the window here of the studio, and certainly we're happy to see that it's raining, and hopefully we'll get enough to get some relief. It's going to take a long time to recharge the lake and those kind of things. Almost 8 feet low is where we were at Wednesday's mark, all-time record low. But at least you know, at least people are feeling a little bit better about things this afternoon, that the water is coming.
I tell you what, if they could open up these boat docks again, I mean, not the boat docks, but these marinas again, open up all these ramps again, start having people out fishing and using the lake and doing water sports, it'd just be a wonderful thing.
Well, we appreciate the hard work that's going into, even with or without the rain, y'all are still working forward to secure the right water rights for Granbury and Hood County and taking care of everything there. Well, Judge, as always, we appreciate this time with you. Looking forward to it. We have an interview every 2 weeks here on Granbury TV with Judge Daryl Cockerham, and I'm Kevin Myers for Granbury TV. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right.